Give a damn about a hater when I feel like it. Not today, not today, not today, not tomorrow. Get out my way.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Straight No Chaser podcast. I'm your boy, Pat Jones, also known, well, I guess to me, myself, and I, as Petty Pat. All right, so before we get into today's topic for today's episode, as y'all can see on the YouTube channel, I posted a 3D print video because I've recently bought a 3D printer. So I've been doing all types of cool shit with that. So I wanted to show off some of the stuff I've been printing. So got three things on the table with me right now. One I just recently finished today. So first thing we got the Minato kunai from Naruto. This is Naruto's father's special weapon. It's a little on the small side for my liking, so I might go back in, reprint it, make it a little bigger, but as you can see, still fits in my hand. So that's one of the things I've 3D printed. I'm kind of creating my own little arsenal over here, which is kind of scaring my wife, but hey, I'm not going to hurt nobody. So, but the next thing I wanted to show y'all that I printed is here. Some chakra blades here, also from Naruto, carried by Asuma. As you can see, fit in both hands real well. So got those printed. Those are nice. Right there. Chakra blades. And then the last thing, I just finished this one today. This was a huge one, so it took a lot of resin, I had to reprint a couple things because I broke some pieces. I'm still honestly going to have to reprint this because I broke some pieces again. Working with resin, you got to be very careful because this shit could break easily. But the last thing is, here I printed Vash the Stampede's pistol, or excuse me, revolver from Trigon. This was a huge piece. I always kind of wanted my own Vash gun, so this one was like a dream come true. The revolver actually does work, but again, I had to glue it because some shit broke, so I'm going to have to reprint this thing again, unfortunately. But enough of that stuff. Let's get into today's topic for today's episode. So today's topic is we are going to talk about the Velma series that came out recently on HBO Max. HBO Max. So I've seen a lot of negative reviews on this show. I personally, it was all right. Like, I was at that point where I was already too deep into the series, so I felt I should just go ahead and finish it before I give my honest opinion. So I just recently finished episodes 7 and 8, and that pretty much ended the series. And, you know, overall, the episode before the finale and the season finale kind of didn't catch my interest at all. Like, I kind of really wasn't paying attention to them at all. So I kind of tuned out a little bit. But for my overall opinion of the show, it was all right. Like, the show differences, I have no issue with. Like, I have no issues with the race swapping of Velma or Norville. And I don't know. I don't know if Daphne was race swapped or not, but she looked kind of Asian. But I don't know, not to be sure. Also don't have an issue with making Velma bisexual or anything of that nature. I have no issues with those things. The things, and I usually enjoy Mindy Kaling's work because she usually does a great job with everything that she does. She's hilarious. She's a very talented comedian. But I didn't like this portrayal or adaptation of Velma. Like, it was just like, she just seemed like Velma was the true mean girl of this show. Like, she didn't care about anybody else's needs if they didn't meet her own. Like, she was the real mean girl, even though she was kind of hating on Daphne for like turning her back on her because she got hot. But if you watch the show, you see Velma, she doesn't really like care too much about other people's feelings or opinions if they don't meet her needs or if it's not what she needs at that instant or at that moment in time. Like, she treated Norville, which was supposed to be Shaggy, like a straight up dirtball. Like, she would not listen to this man. Like, this man had feelings for her. Like, he would always be there to help her at the drop of a hat whenever she needed help. And I just think throughout the series, she continuously treated this man like crap while also trying to play the victim. Like, it was kind of just annoying. Like, it wasn't the fun-loving Velma we all love. It wasn't the nerdy Velma, the Jinkies Velma that we all fell in love with at Scooby-Doo. Like, it wasn't that, and it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I kind of hated seeing Velma as the mean girl, because I'm like, that's at least what I got from it. Like I said, this is all speculation. This is all opinion. This is all my opinion, but this is like, that's what I got from it. Like, she just seemed like the true mean girl of the series. So I didn't really care for that Mindy Kelly's portrayal when it came to how, like, it wasn't like the traditional Velma we were used to. They also didn't have another thing that kind of killed me was like no Scooby at all. Like, it was just kind of just like anytime they referenced Scooby-Doo or Scooby even being part of the show, it was just some stupid reference that was just kind of just fell on deaf ears. It wasn't really funny. It wasn't really that great. It was just bleh. All I can say, honestly, because, like, we all loved the Scooby-Doo series from back in the day. Keep in mind, I am not too up on, like, the latest Scooby-Doo series that have came out. I know there have been some new ones, some new adaptations of Scooby-Doo that have come out. So let me keep it a buck here. I don't know anything past the original Scooby-Doo. If it ain't Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, that's pretty much where my Scooby-Doo knowledge stops. The live action movies were trash. They were garbage. They should have never been made. The best thing we got out of that was fucking a CGI Scooby-Doo, pretty much. But I'm not too hip, I should say, on the newer Scooby-Doo adaptations. But like I was saying, I get what they were trying to do with Velma. Like, they were trying to make a Scooby-Doo, but geared towards more adults and also a little bit more woke than other shows. Like, for me, this show, the thing I'm hating about TV shows as of late is, like, everyone is trying to be woke. And it's not for the good reasons. It's not for good reasons. Like, it's not for reasons to bring awareness. It's not for reasons to, like, help the community they're trying to be woke about. It's like just, oh, everybody else is doing it, we need to do it. And I just kind of felt like that's what Velma was. They were like, oh, other people are turning characters bisexual, so we had to do it. Again, have no issues with Velma being bisexual, but it seemed just kind of forced. Like, it seems like, oh, everybody else on TV is doing it, so we have to do it too. That's just, I couldn't stand that. So I'm just like, I hate this trope going around on TV that everybody has to have that one episode. Everybody has to have that trans episode where the trans character is being treated like crap. Everybody has to have that episode where there's a Black Lives Matter issue. Everybody has to have that episode where there's stuff about the LGBTQ plus community. Like, I get it. I have no issues with TV shows and series doing this stuff or movies in general. It's just that do it for the right reasons. Do it because you're trying to send a message. Do it because you're trying to bring awareness to blah, blah, blah. Do it because you're trying to bring awareness to how these communities are treated out in the world today. Like, don't do it just because it makes you quick bucks and it brings you ratings and like, oh yeah, you know, people are going to eat it up. Like, it's kind of pointless. Like, for me, it falls on deaf ears because I'm like, here we go again. Another Black Lives Matter episode where like this happened. Oh, here we go again where this trans person is being treated injusticely. Like, yes, trans people around the world are being treated injustly all around the world, but at the same time, like, I just want TV shows to do this stuff, portray this stuff for the right reasons. And I feel like Velma was one of those shows that didn't do it for the right reason. They just did it for shock and awe. They just did it for shock value. They're like, oh, what can we do to be like, make people be like, with Velma, I got it. Let's race swap her and make her bisexual. Cool. I get it. You did it for shock value, but like, you didn't do it for the right reasons. So that's where it was annoying for me in this show. And then the back and forth with Velma and Daphne's relationship, like, one minute they're not friends at the beginning of the series because Daphne became hot and left her in the dust, which I really think it was the reverse. She saw how manipulative Velma was and only wanted to do things that benefited her. So she was just like, all right, we don't need to be friends no more. Maybe getting attractive was part of it as well. But at the same time, I feel like that was a very minuscule reason for her not wanting to hang around Velma. Even in the show where Norville, who was supposed to be Shaggy, you could tell by the green shirt, brown pants, Norville, who had a crush on Velma for the longest, spent most of the series trying to prove his worth to Velma and show his feelings to Velma, trying to basically waiting hand over foot for Velma, just for her to be like, her thing is, this series decided to give Velma homicidal hallucinations. And the only way for her to like cure these homicidal hallucinations was to be made to be laugh. And like the things that would make her laugh, like would be Norville confessing his feelings for her. That would make her laugh. Like I just kind of felt like that was crap. And then like she didn't really start giving a crap about Norville at all until he got a girlfriend. Then she was like, I need Norville for this. I need to take Norville for that. But before then, it was all Daphne. Like, I need to figure out how to be friends with Daphne. I need to not act on my feelings with Daphne. But now, the moment Norville got taken, she was like, oh, damn it, I lost my best friend. Now I lost a person who would do any and everything for me because I treated him like garbage. Even still, that didn't stop her from being her same old manipulative self throughout the whole series. Every time this man was with his girlfriend, he would literally still drop everything at the dime and go help Velma instead of helping his girlfriend. His girlfriend actually got stung by a bee. It was about to die, and this man went to help Velma instead. So that just tells you how much of like a manipulative stranglehold Velma had on certain characters in this show. Now, you've heard me bring up Norville, Shaggy, Velma, and you've also heard me talk about Scooby and Daphne as well. So the one person I did not talk about yet is Fred. Fred was basically, you know how Fred was portrayed in the old shows and probably some of the new ones But, Fred was always portrayed as the leader, the strong one, yeah, I make the plans, split up, whatever. He would always be the one to go split up with Daphne. Daphne was basically his love interest, which was the opposite in this. Daphne was not his love interest in this. So, but anyways, back to Fred. Fred was basically a glorified idiot. He was a mama's boy. He was a privileged rich kid who came from money. His family ran a successful men's line. I forget what it was called. I think it was called Jones Exquisitries. I don't fucking know what it was called. But they sold like ascots and other men's stuff. They even started breaking into women's stuff. But anyways, I digress. Fred was made out to be this dumbass, like mama's boy. I can't do anything for myself. Privileged rich kid, heir to a like fantastic, like heir to a throne of like ascot throne, whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, I didn't like this portrayal of Fred. Granted, during the first couple episodes, it was funny. I'm like, cool, he's an idiot. I'm like, this representation of Fred is kind of cool. Then it got to the point where it was more like annoying. Like he was your basic womanizer. Like he'd only cared about women's looks and stuff like that. And then it became like later in the episode, he was like, oh, I all of a sudden can see women for what's on the inside. Their personalities are beautiful. I started caring about women's minds. And it was just kind of a 180 because I felt like they were portraying as it like, oh, like all that matters is women's looks. Like even when they were trying to find the murderer that was killing pretty much all the females, the whole trope was that, oh, the killer's only killing hot women. only attractive females who live in the town and or go to the school. So even still, I felt like they were just more so like trying to portray Velma as just like the ugly, nerdy kid. Like Velma's ugly. She's fat. She's just that. But like if you go and look back at the other shows, Velma was so much more. Velma was the person formulating all the plans. Velma was more than likely the first person to find the clue about what the mystery was about. Velma was more than likely the person who would figure out who the person was causing all the trouble, because we all know it was never a fucking ghost. You remember the famous line, "Yeah, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids." Like, we all remember that line. That's a classic Scooby-Doo line. We love that. But like, this show steered away from everything we loved to Scooby-Doo. And I was not here for it. Let me tell you, I was not here for it. I was excited because I thought it was going to be more like Harley Quinn. I thought this was them, like this is their answer to Harley Quinn, or them trying to capitalize on the popularity of Harley Quinn. And let me tell you, it was nothing like that. I was not feeling this show. I was not a fan of it. Again, I watched all of it because I felt like I couldn't formulate my own opinion off of 2 episodes like most of the internet did. I felt like I was already in too deep and I needed to finish it. So I finished it. So, because I wanted to formulate my own opinion on it. I wanted to formulate an opinion on the entire series, not just 2 episodes. But I didn't really care for the portrayal of any of this. It was just, man, it was a far cry from what we were all used to from Scooby-Doo, as Scooby-Doo fans or old Scooby-Doo fans, whatever the case may be. It was just a far cry from what we were all used to. I personally, if they do decide to do a season 2, I hope they make a lot of changes. Like, as far as Velma's character development, I hope they do some character development with Fred where he's smarter, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. I guess smarter. I was overall pleased with Daphne's character development because she was going through the whole trying to find her birth parents thing. So like, Daphne for me was the only person who really had like some depth. It was trying to, I felt like, accomplish something. Yeah, Velma was trying to just get everybody believe that her mom had just like actually disappeared. She didn't die. But like, I feel like as far as like character development, Daphne had the most character development. Like, we figured out she was bi. We figured out like how her parents found her. We figured out the backstory with her birth parents. We figured out basically her whole spiel, like what was the reasoning behind her acting the way she does. So I feel like her character development was great. I feel like if you go into a season 2, we need more character development from Velma, Norville, and Fred. Like, Fred had the little tiny character development where he like kind of turned over a new leaf and started caring more, like I said, about females' inner beauty rather than their outer beauty. So keep in mind, Fred's parents even though he started to like Velma, and Velma started to find him disgusting after the fact that he started to see her inner beauty, which I found just dumb that she rejected him after basically slobbering over this man for like the first 3 to 4 episodes. But whatever, I digress. I just hope there's a lot more done if there's a season 2. I have not looked into if the show has been renewed for a season 2. I know Mindy Kaling had I think she created this or it is executive producer on this show. I can't remember. But I just need to see a lot more done with this show if it's going to stick around. Like, you need to find a way to introduce Scooby. Like, you need to find a way to introduce Scooby. Like, you can't make a show called Velma, have all the kind of like same tropes from the show, and then miss like one of the biggest parts from the show that you're basing it off of. You're missing the talking dog, Scooby. Like, I don't care if you made him a cussing. I think, what is Scooby supposed to be? Is Scooby supposed to be a Great Dane? I don't know. Somebody put in the comments, let me know what Scooby's supposed to be. I think Scooby is a Great Dane. Either way, you took it away because I don't know why you decided not to put Scooby in here, but you took away the thing we loved about the old Scooby-Doo series. We loved Yeah, don't get me wrong. We loved Scoob. We loved Velma, Daphne, Fred, but we mostly loved, if you were a real fan, you loved Scooby and Shaggy. Like, just seeing them be scaredy cats, but for some reason to always get themselves in so deep that they almost end up basically solving the case or solving the mystery. All they cared about was food and just chilling. They didn't want to go and be a part of all this goofy ass solving mysteries and stuff. Like, Scooby and Shaggy were, I'm gonna keep it a buck right now. Scooby and Shaggy were the black person in every horror movie. They didn't want to go near the danger. They didn't want to go near the creepy noises. They never wanted to split up. They didn't want to do any of that stupid crap that are always done in horror movies that you shouldn't do. That's what I loved about Shaggy and Sugar. And let's keep it a buck. They were always high. Shaggy and Scooby were always high. You don't eat that much without being a stoner. Them motherfuckers were always high. But that's just, I just wanted to get on here and give my honest review for Velma. Like, I just need to see a lot more from this show if this show is going to continue. If it's not going to continue, if it was so bad that HBO Max decides to cancel it, I won't be butthurt about it. This show, I just need to see a lot more from this show down the road if it gets renewed for season 2. And I hope it does nothing but improve. But again, for this first season out, and for only giving us 8 episodes, you didn't do what you were needing to do with this show. And let me tell you, Velma, I'm going to give Velma a solid 5 out of 10 as far as overall review of the show. 5 out of 10 seems like it does it justice, because you kind of met me halfway. You met me in the middle with a couple things, so I'm not gonna give you below a 5. So I'll give you in the middle of a middle of the road ranking for what you gave me. That's my time. I'm about to wrap this up. I just wanted to get on, let y'all know how I felt about this. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought about Velma if you watched it. Let me know in the comments what you want me to see me talk about next. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, just trying to find my voice on this channel. Bear with me, guys, and yeah, keep it classy, motherfuckers. Deuces. Yo, what's good, everybody? So I'm back with an update about Velma. So what I originally thought was just season finale, episodes 7 and 8, were not it. They dropped episodes 9 and 10, were pretty much wrapped up the series, pretty much, I say, with a nice bow. So
this was on me.
We ended up finding out that Velma's mom was alive, of course, and we ended up finding out that she had no memory of how she ended up missing or kidnapped with the other girls' brains, who had got chopped out, which was insane in and of itself. But anyways, so they spent the next 2 episodes trying to keep her mom happy, because apparently that was how to cure her amnesia. You had to keep her happy for like the next 72 hours, which was insane in and of itself, because you had to explain how Velma's dad married the waitress that he was cheating on Velma's mom with, and ended up having a whole baby with this waitress. And also, Velma had to lie, say the baby was hers and Norville's, which was insane in and of itself. We just spent most of the episode of Velma just losing the baby, not caring about the baby, forgetting about the baby. Just pretty much just terrible portrayal of Velma being neglectful and only caring about her needs and what she wants. Anyways, fast forward, blah, 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 blah. We get to the end. We finally find out they catch the murderer who killed the 3 girls, the hot girls. And we find out the murderer the whole time, which kind of threw me for a loop, because they never hint or insinuate, maybe I missed it in the series, that it's Fred's mom. So Fred's mom ends up being the murderer. We find out Fred's mom is the one who ended up kidnapping Velma's mom. We found out Fred's mom is the reason the 3 girls ended up dying, and their brains ended up in these weird jars, and they could somehow still talk, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, like I said, doesn't stray away from my final review. Give it a solid meh. It was all right. if they come out with a season 2, I'm not gonna rush to watch it like I did with season 1. But meh. But just wanted to give y'all a quick update. My bad. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want me to talk about in the comments if you have any suggestions. And yeah, keep it classy, motherfuckers. Deuces.
Open their eyes after hiding from the storm. Try to patch in all this hole, yeah.